sorts of lessons could have been learned. And I mean, from Primo coming a long way in one afternoon to just guys coming back. I mean, how would you sum it up?
I was proud of them. I thought they did a great job. With the number of guys that were out, I thought a lot of guys stepped up and mostly just competed their asses off. And that's what I'm most thrilled about. We made some mistakes down the stretch, but, so did the Nets. It's a game of mistakes, but wonderful learning experience, as you said, for the young guys. A couple of different situations that we could have handled a little bit better, but just mental mistakes that a young team will make. So wonderful learning experience, great effort. As I said, proud of them. Just hope we have enough juice for tomorrow.
I know you wouldn't assume that anybody stopped Kevin Durant down the stretch, but it was encouraging to see the way you guys played on the defensive end and made those.
Yeah, we
guys
played him
work.
as well as you can play him, but most of the time he still makes a lot of those shots.
Yeah.
He just had a tough fourth quarter, but the guys did everything they could do.
You talked about Joshua's maturity a lot, but seeing him hit that three to force the overtime after shooting so poorly, how impressive was that?
Well, he's got courage. He's not intimidated by anything. At his young age, he shows a really good level of confidence and channels it in the right way.
Lonnie Walker, there's been consistency questions with him all season long. Is this kind of him at his best? Is this what you want to see from him on a regular basis?
Well, I think Lonnie's had a good year. He's really kind of morphed into a better basketball player. He's got some athletic ability. He can do some things on his own, but he's including his other teammates. He's picking and choosing his spots better, that sort of thing. Playing better defense. So he's maturing, just like all those young kids are.
Before the game, you mentioned in terms of the learning process, there are games when players do wise things and win and do unwise things and lose.
Mm-hmm.
Was this, I know it's not about moral victories, but it seems like there were a lot of wise things that were done down the stretch and it just wasn't.
Well, I don't know how else I can say it for as young a team as they are, and obviously never having played together with these combinations, I got to be thrilled with what they did.
Landale's shooting in the third quarter, is that a good sign that he's finally?
Who's that?
Landale, yeah.
Oh.
Is shooting in the third quarter a sign that he's finally getting comfortable after the concussion?
Well, he's already comfortable. He's played, a lot of international ball, and we've had him in that situation before, where we spread the court with him, and that's what he's supposed to do. So he's not building up to it. That's him. That's what he does.
That last possession kind of, you don't want to let Kevin shoot the ball, obviously, but when you try and give it up, someone's going to be open, obviously.
If you could wish and make your wish come true, you don't want him shooting the last shot. That's for sure. But we let the young man go middle, on a tough closeout, and he needed to be sent in the opposite direction. So he made a tough shot down the stretch. So you give him credit.
Was that a new play with 1.4 seconds left, the four guys coming across?
Part of it is, and part of it was not run. So, yeah, we'd never run it before, but we didn't run it very well.
Yeah, there's probably not a lot of great options with 1 second left.
Well, there's some things you can do. We had a better, with 0.8, we ran a play better than we did that one with 1.4. So you never know.
A lot of guys in COVID, you're probably going to wait until San Antonio to get them back. Doug especially, I guess.
Well, we get them back when they give them to us.
Yeah.
I got nothing to do with it. When they tell us they're able to come, that's when they come.
But there's nobody that wasn't available today that will be available tomorrow, right?
True. Yeah. Same team.
One of those days you look back at for a long time, learned a lot of lessons, grew up a lot in the course of that game.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great game to learn lessons. Sharing the court with some of the best players in the league, in the world. So going out there, you just try to play our hardest and try to execute as best you can. But it's a game of mistakes, and we're just gonna go over, look at the film, and yeah, I'll be able to remember this one for a while.
Were there any moments when, obviously you're not supposed to be starstruck, but when you look around and realize, I'm guarding Kevin Durant, I'm up against James Harden, whatever?
I mean, yeah, there's a moment where you get to feel kind of just humbled, knowing that you're, like I said, sharing the court with some of the greats, but you just gotta go out there and compete. I've said it before, everyone out there is a basketball player, so can't be fearful of anybody. You just gotta go out there and compete.
Is that the whole mentality of this trip? You guys are down, undermanned, on the road, playing good teams. You beat Boston, pretty hostile environment. Then you come in here and almost pull it out. I mean, what does that do for morale building and camaraderie and just forging a cohesive unit?
I mean, it helps. I mean, all of us in the locker room know that we can do it each and every night. We know that every time we go out there that we have a great chance of winning. So that's what we step out there with the confidence to do. And sometimes it goes our way, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we make more mistakes, or there's some things that just don't work out. But we go out there knowing that we have a great chance of winning, and just go out there and compete.
Why do you think you started slow today? Were you trying to do too much? How did you improve from the first half to the second half?
I think I just had to slow myself down. Going out there in the beginning, didn't necessarily feel better or worse than any other day. However, I just had to figure out the flow of the game. I mean, the Nets were pushing the pace for sure, and that can speed you up sometimes. But I just had to find my own pace, and within our own team's pace. And once I did that, I think I was fine.
You got that kick out pass from Lonnie to send it into overtime. You weren't shooting well up to that point. Pop mentioned the word courage. You never lost confidence, obviously, to put that up.
I mean, going into that shot, I think I just missed one to tie it, and I told myself I may have another chance, but I just got to get it back on defense. And so I knew Lonnie saw me when he drove baseline or drove that slot, so I just made sure I was ready and calmed myself down so I could knock the shot down. I mean, Lonnie's able to see the floor really well. He trusted me, so I just got to make the shot.
Collecting a pretty good array of charges, from some pretty good players. Stepped in front of Harden today.
Yeah.
Just more of what you told me in Philadelphia, right? Or Boston, I think it was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Harden, it's completely different because you know that he's so great at drawing fouls, and I hadn't been doing a good job up to that point of staying completely in front of him. But this time coming down, I just knew I had to square myself up, and once I was in front of him, that I knew I had a chance to draw that charge.
Not long after, maybe even before that play, I think you guys switched on to Kevin, and he threw the ball away. Just when that happens, and you know that he's probably looking for his shot, what's your strategy there? What goes through your head?
Make him uncomfortable as much as possible. You know you're not going to be able to completely lock down someone, especially at my size. Trying to lock down someone like Kevin Durant, it's going to be hard, but just try to make him uncomfortable as much as I can. And I know I got help behind me, so just trying to make everything as tough as possible.
How would you classify or describe your progress this year? You talked about finding your own pace in this individual game, but are you finding it in terms of your season, in terms of your career, that type of thing?
I think I'm starting to. I just got to take it day by day, honestly. I mean, the season is still young, so there's a lot of things that I can improve on, and there's a lot of things I'm starting to get. So I just continue to try to learn from each mistake and each good thing that I do out there on the court.
What one mistake that you made today sticks out to you that you're going to learn from?
One mistake was just there at the end of the game, knowing that we had a foul to give, and knowing that when we get in trouble, maybe to use that. But other than that, that's like an end of the game situation where I gotta understand like time and clock, foul situation. But like I said, I'll learn from that and take it into the next game.
And what do you think your best play was today?
I honestly don't know. I think I'd have to run that back on film and try to figure that out, but I couldn't tell you one.
What did you see on Thomas's game winner when he drove the lane, floated it in?
So, I mean, I had ran to go double team Kevin at that point, and I mean, he's a willing passer, so he let it go to Cam. I think Jock closed out to him, and he went middle, and I was going to close out to whoever was in the corner, but when he went middle, I had to kind of circle back and go get him. But I mean, he made a tough shot. Didn't get close enough to him in time, so it happens.
Is this where you thought you'd be back when you were drafted? I'm sure you didn't look in detail as to where you thought you'd be every month of the season, but is your progress about what you had anticipated?
I mean, you can never completely anticipate what's going to happen in the NBA season, and that's kind of what the coaches and my teammates have been trying to preach to me. But I mean, I think I'm progressing pretty well. My teammates have been continuing to just put the confidence in me to go out and play my game, and same with the coaching staff. So I think I'm progressing pretty well, and hopefully that'll.
You kind of like DeJounte, you didn't show too many ill effects coming out of COVID. How have you felt, and what was that experience like being in protocols?
I mean, I'm still kind of tired, you know, but when I was in the hotel, I pretty much just continued to try and work out, you know, do mobility. I was running around my hotel room for a long time, so just trying to stay conditioned as much as I can, even though it didn't really help. I had a dumbbell, some bands, and, you know, just every day, you know, if I was zoning, them sending me strength and conditioning to kind of do. But I was in the beautiful city of Detroit for a few days, so that was one hell of an experience.
Pop, when I asked Pop about if this is Lonnie Walker at his best in terms of how you play today, he mentioned that you're becoming more of a basketball player. What does that mean to you when you hear that?
It just means I'm getting smarter. You know, I know I'm athletic, you know, having my ups and downs. It's just making the right reads, taking the right shots, being there defensively. So overall, just, you know, leveling up the IQ.
And in terms of your start, that wasn't necessarily just IQ, that was scoring when your team needed it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're down a big chunk of our main players, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Derek White. So, you know, that's my time to pick it up offensively, you know, and go downhill, be aggressive. And, you know, that's what I just try my best.
Speaking of the right reads on that kick out, you drove and kicked it out to Josh. He hadn't been shooting well up to that point, but he drained that. What does it say about him? And, you know, Pop used the word courage.
Courage, confidence, he's all of that. He don't discourage himself. He don't lose confidence. He's ready day in and day out, even if it's not going his way. You know, he's young, he's a rookie, but he does a hell of a job, you know, being ready at the right time.
The idea of a team growing up, are you sort of sick of hearing that? I mean, we talked about that a lot after losses this year. What is it like to kind of experience it?
It's great. You know, I think this is our first time, you know, the young group got to play together. I've been here for 4 years. This is my first year where, you know, we got off the nest, per se. You know, for my first 3 years, we had great veteran players. We had Jamar, L.A., LaMarcus Aldridge, Patty Mills. We had great vets. So this is like taking the training wheels off for the first season. So, you know, I'm enjoying it. I think, you know, we're still improving, still getting better. But that's just part of the game.
What was it like going against Patty?
Like almost every other Spurs player we play against, is bittersweet. But I'm happy that he's doing his thing, playing on a championship contender team. You know, it's well deserved. He's a hell of a player. And, you know, the Nets got a very great pickup when they picked up Patty Mills and LaMarcus Aldridge as well.
When you see those guys, Patty and LaMarcus, come here to compete for a title, DeMar go to Chicago, compete for the title, just what goes through your head as a guy who's still in Spurs and you know you're in a rebuilding year, but how do you kind of balance being happy for them?
I mean, you know, all of that just comes with genuine love. You know, I love them as a player, and I love them as a human being, period. You know, off the court, we're talking. I still talk to DeMar till this day. Honestly, he was one of the few people that I really talked to consistently when I was in my own head for a long period of time. So we're still in contact, and that's the best thing, you know, with the Spurs organization. You know, the relationships kind of last forever. So as far as, you know, being with the Spurs, I love it. We're growing. I'm day to day, and every day we're looking to improve, and that's all that matters.
Do you think that last shot of the regulation, y'all had a chance to win it right there?
Yeah, maybe. We had a couple, you know, I made a mistake my dang self. I was supposed to go back door on that last play, and, you know, me doing what I think I should do. I obviously failed on this one, so Coach Pop was a little disappointed in me.
What's the best for tips for travelers if you want to work out in your own hotel room? What's the best strategy?
I don't know. It's kind of like do as many push-ups as you can, you know, every other hour. Find a way to do some core. I was running mini suicides, I guess you can say, from wall to wall or bed to the wall. So it was kind of funny sometimes. I'm just sitting there like I'm really doing this in this small hotel room, but.
This was in Detroit?
Yeah, it was in Detroit. Beautiful city of Detroit, by the way. So.
Did you have any symptoms at all? Were you
I didn't have no symptoms, no. So it's a little unusual, but you test positive. There's obviously a reason we had to take precaution, you know, and that's what we did.
What did you think in the third quarter, Jock's shooting performance?
That's what brought us back. I believe we're down with 12. He cut it down to probably 4 or 5. Had back-to-back threes in the corner. Had a layup, a putback layup. Jock is Jock. I mean, I don't know how many times I got to say it, but he's an MVP. He ain't no rookie. He knows the game. So to have someone like that on the team is amazing.
What have you seen from like K-Cock? He came in and did kind of yeoman's duty with the board, hitting the boards.
I mean, he's honestly a really good player. If you watch the G League, he's strong as hell. So his ability. I mean, no one makes Kevin Durant uncomfortable. I mean, he's gonna get his shot off, but his ability to kind of put pressure, and, you know, he had a block on him, and, you know, a couple key moments down the stretch that kept us in the game going into the fourth quarter. And I think he did a good job with the minutes he was given.
Same with, speaking of defending Durant, same with Tatum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kata he got the longest arms in America. So, you know, Kata knows his role, and he does a terrific job at it.
For all information, you did not officially say what the answer was yesterday of the photo you posted. Did that work out like you wanted it to?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think she actually gave me an answer until I was like 3 or 4 hours later. I was like, hang on, there was more just like squealing and like, oh my God, and like the ring just went on. So I eventually got a solid yes at dinner. So
Congratulations.
appreciate it, yeah.
How long had that been planned?
Wow, it had probably been in the making for about 3 months. One of my mates who's here, who's her brother-in-law, he flew the ring in yesterday. So it kind of all worked together as a neat little package of him flying in and her sister being here and everything. So we'd been kind of planning it out for 3 months or so. And man, as I'm sure a lot of you guys would know, it is one crazy emotional experience, and I was not prepared for it. And I had a speech planned in my head, and as soon as you start talking, it kind of all goes out the window, and you just dribble in words. So it was amazing and a really special day.
What a magical setting.
Hey,
For both of you.
I'm a bit of a romantic, so I can really pick the setting. I did a bit of research and found that, but I mean, with the snowfall and everything, it just kind of panned out amazingly. And thankfully, I had the Spurs boys there to kind of help me out and take some photos, so they were huge, and a big thank you to them as well.
What's her name?
India.
Is she from Australia too? Or?
She is. We went to high school together, and I never said a word to her when we were there, so it all kind of happened in the past couple of years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The third quarter, your third quarter performance, is that just a sign of what, I mean, you said coming in, when you signed with the Spurs, you could shoot the, you know what out of it.
Shoot the piss out of it, I'll say it.
That's pretty good proof today.
Yeah, you know, I've got to find ways to impact the play like that. You know, some nights, whatever it may be, I you know, might not be as involved because other guys have got it going on. But I think for a minute there, we were a little bit bogged down. So, you know, especially after my first half, I felt as though I really needed to kind of get involved and somehow figure out how to affect the offensive end of the court, which is probably what I do best. So, yeah, you know, luckily I've got great teammates who were able to find me in the right spots, and you know, I was just throwing it up there and hoping for the best. So, ball went in, and we started kind of rolling offensively. And I got to give credit to Devontae, who, you know, has only played 2 games with us. He's kind of been in and out of the G League, and I just thought that his presence out there, as you know, playing alongside him, was huge, and I had a bit of experience with that in the G League stint. So, man, he did a great job, and I thought he provided a huge offensive spark and defensive spark for us.
Must just be a great camaraderie builder when you guys are 6 players down, 5 rotation players down. You come in here against the Nets on the road and, you know, almost pull it out.
100%, and I think that's kind of what we've been facing for these past, you know, 5 games or so, is, you know, guys going down with COVID in and out of the lineups, and it's been such a long road trip. We haven't been able to see a lot of those guys return. So for us, it's just trying to find ways to get the job done by any means, and you know, it would be nice if we could, you know, figure it out a little bit sooner, because I feel like we really have a spark late in the games. But you know, I felt as though we did an awesome job tonight in that third quarter, and especially in that fourth as well, of just figuring out what was working and going to it, and guys stepped up and made massive plays. So you know, we need to figure that out a little bit earlier in the game, and kind of not let it get away from us so far and dig ourselves such a big hole. But you know, I think, as you said, it's been huge for us, just building a level of resiliency that, you know, in the future will really come in handy.
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm not sure what you knew about or what you expected from the Spurs when you signed with them, but to be part of what's apparently a rebuilding year for this team, what have been your impressions of that process, watching younger guys come along, you being a part of that?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really see it as such. I know that, you know, our record probably doesn't reflect what I'm about to say, but I really like our team, and I think that we have serious potential there. You know, I don't even know how many games we are through the year, to be honest with you, but I still see that there's a playoff spot or a play-in spot for us available, and I have confidence in us that we can really hit our straps soon and get rolling and figure out a way to get in there. But yeah, as you said, we do have a lot of young guys. We have no real veterans on this team except for Thad, and you know, then we've got Derek and Yuck, who are reasonably old and have some experience in this league. But you know, I think that we still do show at times how good we can be, and it's usually against the best teams in the league. So, you know, in saying that, it's great seeing young guys like Dev and Primo getting a chance to kind of show what they can do, and they've really stepped up to the plate and become kind of, you know, third options, fourth options for us, and they're doing a great job. So, you know, those guys have got unbelievable futures ahead of them in this league, and I'm excited to see what they do. But in saying that, I don't think none of us in the locker room are ever going into a game thinking that we're going to lose or it's a rebuild year. It's every game, we should win this thing, and that's kind of the mindset I see us carrying over to every game. And again, our record doesn't reflect that right now, but I think that there is a moment coming soon where we'll step it up a notch.
What was the experience of facing Patty like, and did you sense that both you guys were going, you know, trying to one-up each other? Or?
Nah, it was nothing like that. I was trying to crack him with some hard screens, and I got him once or twice. But nah, it's cool, man. You know, he has words of encouragement even when you're out there as an opponent, and that's the kind of guy he is he cares about his guys. And yeah, for me to go up against him, knowing, you know, how good he is and seeing him do it out in this setting is just another level to, you know, the respect I have for him as a player and as a person. And, you know, I'm looking forward to playing him again and continuing to get to face him in the future.
Were you excited to get another chance at a last-second inbound pass?
Redemption, man. Redemption. Yeah, that was good. You know, we were close on that first one, and the second one didn't pan out as we wanted it. But yeah, for me, it was a bit of redemption just to not throw it directly a chest pass to the opposition player. So I was happy with that, even though it didn't come off.
This is going to be really dumb, but Australia having a great time in New York. I'm just wondering if you ever watched the Crocodile Dundee movies.
Oh yeah, come on, man! Gotta watch those ones. I was about to pull out a quote, but I won't embarrass myself. So yeah, no, I've watched those 100 times. I feel like we get every man and their dog comes up to us and says, "That's not a knife. This is a knife." So, oh man, I've got a lot of quotes from that movie.
Yeah.
That was a great romantic movie too at the ending with.
Us Aussies, man, we know how to do it.